So, do I ever eat unripe fruit? The answer to that question is yes. I do eat unripe fruit sometimes because it's inevitable. Fruit is a dynamic, living thing. It goes from unripe to rotten, and then there's a window in there where starches turn to sugar, certain acids have gone down, the nutrients are more available. There's a window which we call ripe. That's when the fruit is ripe. And ideally we want to eat it in that window. But it's not always possible, due to obvious reasons, to have a perfect rotation of ripe fruit going. So today, for example, my banana smoothie consists of somewhat unripe bananas. Still pretty good, but not as sweet as it would be if the bananas were ripe. Because as you probably know anyway, starch is pretty much tasteless. So when the bananas are starchy, they don't really taste sweet at all. It's only when that starch is turned to sugar, which is part of the ripening process, that those bananas start tasting sweet. So this is one of the main reasons you want to eat your fruit ripe, because if you don't eat it ripe, it won't really be that sweet. We like our fruit sweet, right? So wait until it's ripe in order to get the sweetest, most tasty experience. If it's not ripe, you're not going to enjoy it as much. And if you don't enjoy it as much, you won't really consider it a food option. You won't really continue on the fruit-based diet if your meals aren't satisfying, aren't enjoyable. Nutrients will also be more available when the fruit is ripe. And of course, it'll be easier to digest because starch has to be digested in our intestines in order to turn into sugar, which can then be absorbed into the bloodstream and used by the body. So that's why we want to eat ripe fruit. And that's why we want to eat fruit above all the other foods as well, because everything else pretty much needs to be digested in order to be absorbed. Whereas ripe fruit, it's already sugar. It's ready to be absorbed. It's just like, break it down from the fiber, separate it from the fiber, and in the water it's just like goes right into your bloodstream. Easily digestible, quick energy, lasting energy too if you eat enough. People say fruit doesn't keep me for very long. No, that's because you ate 2 bananas, 200 calories. This is probably about 1,000 calories. 10 bananas. So make sure that you eat enough of the ripe fruit if you want it to be lasting energy. And it'll be quick energy in the sense that it'll give you, it'll replenish glycogen stores after your run. I was just out for a run now, so this will replenish my glycogen stores. It will restore, keep blood sugar solid. So it's really epic. You want to eat your fruit ripe, but I guess the original question in this video was whether or not I eat unripe fruit, and the truth is yes. Here's the thing though. Yes, I eat unripe fruit sometimes because I have to. We didn't have a perfect banana rotation going. And by the way, if you want to learn more about having a perfect rotation of fruit, of bananas especially, always having ripe bananas on hand, you better check out my book, The Little Banana Book, where I wrote in detail about how to manage your banana rotation, how to buy bananas, store bananas, ripen bananas in order to always have ripe bananas on hand. But every now and then life just happens and it's not possible to have that perfect rotation going. That's what's happened now. And in that situation, I'm willing to eat slightly less ripe bananas. I'm not eating truly unripe bananas though, because that would upset my stomach. That would feel like terrible. I would not digest well. If I truly had no ripe fruit, I would eat dried fruit maybe, or even cook up some sweet potatoes or something like that. But cool, I had bananas. They were sort of 2 days away from being perfectly ripe. Like tomorrow they'll be fine, and the day after they'll be perfect, and then the day after that they'll also be okay, but going towards overripe, and then eventually they'll be overripe. But yeah, I just want to say that to you, that there's a range, there's a window there for when the fruit is optimally ripe, and then on either side of that you can allow yourself a little bit of flexibility to eat the bananas a little bit early or a little bit late, or any fruit for that matter. But you don't want to go too unripe or too rotten, basically, because then you won't really get those nutrients out of it. It will be heavy to digest and just be uncomfortable and not enjoyable at all. So listen to your body basically. If the fruit tastes amazing, it's probably good and ripe. If it tastes like sour or nothing or just like weird, it's probably unripe or really low quality. So I better get back to my smoothie, get those glycogen stores replenished after my run. I hope your day is going well and that you're eating ripe fruit, because it's so important. It is like so important. After eating enough calories, which is like the main thing people fail at when they try the fruit-based diet, the next thing that people struggle with is having enough ripe fruit, eating enough ripe fruit. It's gotta be ripe. It's gotta be ripe. Alright, thanks for watching. Check out that banana book. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you around.